Hey YouTube, this is Firewizard23, and I welcome you to another book review. This is Garth Nix's sixth book in his Keys to the Kingdom series, Superior Saturday. Spoilers. So Superior Saturday is a bit of a backstory we see in the beginning. Superior Saturday is the first denizen creation of the architect, and it is her belief that she is entitled to rule the house. From the top of her skyscraper in the upper house, she looks up on the floor of the final part of the house called the Incomparable Gardens. And it's ruled by Lord Sunday. And she's envious. She's completely envious of his position as the ruler of the house. Her plan is very simple. She wishes to build a tower to pierce the floor of the Incomparable Gardens and invade with all the sorcerers and spellcasters and stuff that she has in the upper house and kick some ass and take over. That's her plan. And now the problem with this is she cannot build her towers fast enough because at the very four corners of the upper house are 4 drazzle trees. These drazzle trees grow at a rate that is faster than she will ever be able to build. However, the roots of the drazzle trees are down in the far reaches, and as a result of the events of the previous books, we discovered that the lore house and the far reaches have been completely destroyed. The reason this happened is because of the increased niffling activity and the nothing. It finally did pierce through the walls of those areas and destroyed them. Because as the roots of the drazzle trees, their growth has been completely diminished, and within hours, Superior Saturday will be able to pierce the ceiling of the floor of the Incomparable Gardens, her ceiling of the upper house. Arthur, with the 5th key in his possession, is trying to stop. Has gone into the secondary realms. Oh no, he actually went into the lower house because he was trying to I think he was trying to save something. And he's there and actually witnesses the destruction of the lower house and is actually able to get out just barely with the power of the 5th key. He's able to create a portal and get himself out, saving himself from the destruction of the nothing. He comes to find Dame Primus with 5 pieces of her now. And finally, she's not a bitch anymore because she has kind of like moderation in her, since she has the opposite of lust now. And she's willing to be a little bit more lenient on Arthur's wishes. We also notice that Arthur has overcome a very interesting change, where because of the level of magic that he has used, he is now completely and irrevocably a denizen of the house. He's also grown quite tall. He does get into the upper house, which seems like a giant. Imagine just this giant metropolis. That's kind of how the upper house looks. It does have gardens and trees and stuff, but it looks like this giant metropolis because there are all these towers and stuff that are ever building to the very top. And inside, the respective denizens are inside these metallic structures that you see here in the book, and they all have umbrellas because there's no ceilings on these buildings. They're simply building the structures higher and higher, trying to reach the ceiling of the upper house, which is the base of the Incomparable Gardens. But all the denizens are working at their desks, and they're also envious to get to positions above their respective denizens. And once this happens, it's like magic. Once this happens, they simply fold their umbrellas in, saying rude things to their co-associates, and the Piper's children, who are in this part of the house called Grease Monkeys, they actually physically push their cubicles up the house, up these structures, and just simply put them on a higher level. And the question, and it is always raining in the upper house for some reason. That's why they all have umbrellas. Arthur can feel the 6th key here, but the 6th part of the will, but he can't see it. He hears it whenever the rain hits him. He can't figure out why. And again, I'm paraphrasing so much. Spoilers. I do not remember every single detail that's going on here. I had waited for this book so long, and I was so happy when I got it that I raced through it real quick. I remember because I got all the way to Lady Friday, and this book hadn't come out yet, and it killed me to wait for it. But I got it. I found this cover very strange. But he ultimately discovers that the 6th part of the will is the rain for some reason, and he goes in like this pool that's like hovering in the air, and finally the water coalesces into a raven, the 6th part of the will. Being the opposite of envy, it is contentment, so it is very happy. It's like, It's like, hello, rightful heir to the house. I am the sixth part of the will of the trustee of the architect. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go. He just grabs her right. Like he's like, wait a minute, we have to. No, we have to go. They're being attacked and stuff. We do find the sixth key. Arthur ends up getting into a rocket that they're using to that Superior Society is using to blast off into the Incomparable Gardens to start fighting denizens with her sixth key, which is a quill, which allows her to write extremely powerful magical spells. And during the battle that ensues in the with the denizens of the Incomparable Gardens, Arthur starts to say part of the phrase, and he does manage to finish it just as the floor of the Incomparable Gardens is blown apart, and he's thrown down into the upper house, just barely shouting the rest of the incantation, which does give him the ownership of the sixth key, and makes him the master of the upper house. Paraphrased a lot there, but the book is actually I'm looking at it now. The book is actually, I think it's actually smaller than. I believe it is actually the thinnest book of the series. I think it's just we needed to get to the events of Superior Saturday directly go into the final book of the series and the seventh and final trustee of the house. So, I liked it. It sets up a great mood for the last book. I'll see you when we get there. This is Firewizard23. Take care and bye-bye for now, everybody.